This is Tillman's Take. Today we're going to continue to talk about more about the state of the NFL and its situation today. And we know that football and baseball and basketball are high-paying sports, and even baseball is outrageous today, where people get 10-year contracts worth $150 million, $200 million. I remember Alex Rodriguez used to pay for the Mariners and the Yankees, and he had a huge contract over a 10-year period. Basketball, they get big contracts and endorsements as well. But going back to the state of the NFL, we see today that the common people of the world today, we go to work 5 to 6 days a week. We work 8 to 12 hours a day. Some may even work 12 to 16 hours a day. One may travel between a half an hour to 45 minutes to and from work. We see that one's job is all based upon a person's work performance, whether he or she regularly comes to work, how much a person calls off during the course of the year, whether he or she performs their job at a high level, all based upon work performance. Now we see today that athletes have most certainly lost touch with life's realities. Now teams are overcommitting players with money, lots of money. And just to give an example of how players are being, or teams are overcommitting and paying certain players a lot of money in the NFL, take Jimmy Garoppolo. He used to be the backup quarterback for the New England Patriots for a couple of years, and just recently he signed a 5-year deal worth, I believe it's $137.5 million, with almost $50 million up front. I think it was $48.5 million up front, which leaves about $88 million left to play over that 5-year period. So he's going to be getting paid something like $16, $17 million a year, which is the equivalent of $1 million per game. That's some outrageous, ridiculous, excessive amount of money. Now, people today will say, well, if he works hard, then you need to pay him. I don't disagree with paying a player a good amount of money, but really, that is so much money. You mean to tell me you can't manage, say, $7, $8, $9 million a year, even if they take out taxes in certain states? Say if you make $8 million a year, Uncle Sam may get 1.5, $2 million. That leaves you with about, say, $6.5 to $7 million dollars left of that $8 million after they hit you with taxes. So definitely the NFL is overcommitting and paying certain players on their team. Also, we see that people today, common workers today, have dangerous jobs. You have individuals who are roofers. They get up on roofs every day. They can take a fall and break their neck or arm or whatever the case may be and possibly lose their life. What about an electrician? One false move, he's fried. He's dead. Another dangerous job. What about underground workers and how they work on underground pipelines? One bad false move, explosion. One could lose his or her life. And what about our police officers? Now, we know police officers today, some get a bad rep because there's some officers that are not good police officers or don't represent law enforcement in a proper way. But there are good police officers that do. They have a dangerous job. They have a lot of pressure on their hands as well. So there are dangerous jobs. And some of these individuals that I just mentioned in their profession don't even get paid a portion of what NFL players, NBA players, baseball players will see in their lifetime. So that's my take on that. And even today, if you go back to watching the football in the 70s, which I did, I was born in 69, I watched football in the 70s. There were football players that have a love of the game. No divas in the game, no complaining, just went to work, were happy to have made it into the NFL. But today's athletes, whether it be baseball, basketball, but in particularly the NFL, these athletes feel that they're entitled to a lot of money. I'm going to get mine now. It's all about me. I'm not worried about later on in life or what the future holds. I want my money now. Well, as I mentioned, athletes feel entitled to a lot of money, and if one works hard, he or she should be compensated. I'm not, once again, saying that NFL players, baseball players, basketball players shouldn't be compensated well for their hard work. But what is too much? $10 million a year? $15 million a year? $8 million a year? You mean to tell me you can't manage $7 to $8 to $10 million a year for, say, 5-6 years? No. There's other reasons why players go broke, which we'll talk about that on another show at another time. Yes, these days the numbers are just outrageous. So that's just my thoughts on more of the state of the NFL, baseball and their salaries, as well as basketball, but in particularly Tillman's take is talking about NFL, the National Football League. So this is Tillman's take. You NFL fans, you have a great Wednesday evening, and we're going to come back with more information pertaining to the state of the NFL. I'm out.